This morning on This Week, keeping food out of the trash.
If it's something that's still servable and nutritious for people, why not share it with the community?
The ongoing effort to cut waste, feed the less fortunate, and save you money in the long run. Plus, help with the vote.
I call them our neighborhood heroes because they're stepping up.
Iowa plans ahead in what could be one of the most closely scrutinized elections in modern history. And Alan was diagnosed with a rare cancer. Doctors took a shot at something new.
4 days later, it was like a light switch, on and off. My body started feeling much better.
What made such a dramatic difference? It's your health this week.
WQAD News 8. This is News 8 This Week with Jim Mertens.
Well, as you've often heard, America is the breadbasket to the world. American farmers, sometimes led by those in Iowa and Illinois, help feed the billions of people on Earth. But we also waste a lot. 1/3 of all the food produced in the world, 1.3 billion tons, is lost or wasted each year. In the United States, it's 80 billion tons, or just under 220 pounds per person each year. But there's a movement that starts at home that's taking root in our communities. It's our top story this week. In a Davenport warehouse, pallets of non-perishable food are stored and distributed throughout eastern Iowa and western Illinois. Earlier this month, the Riverbend Food Bank received more than $20,000 from farmers in Rock Island, Mercer, and Henry counties to help in the effort.
We feel blessed in what we do in providing food and fiber for the communities and for our jobs, but it's great to be able to support the local efforts and provide food for people that need food.
Efforts like that and the huge student hunger drive go a long way toward helping those who go hungry. But what about the meals already made that can go to waste?
Nearly 600 million pounds of food enter Iowa landfills each year. That's almost 500 million meals being thrown away.
Since 2013, the Food Rescue Partnership has teamed up with stakeholders to make sure extra food from restaurants and others don't go to waste. The group has received national attention from the Environmental Protection Agency for innovations in food recovery. But it's part of a much larger picture. In Illinois, Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton launched an agricultural equity and food insecurity initiative this month, which is highlighting diversity in agriculture this year and will emphasize food insecurity throughout March.
That in uplifting others and ensuring access to food and other basic needs, we can create a legacy of opportunity for generations to come.
It's an ongoing effort to lessen the waste we see every day with every meal. But let's focus this morning on that group of Quad City volunteers, chefs, grocers, and restaurant owners who are part of the Food Rescue Partnership in the Quad Cities. What's happened in the 9 years since its founding? We talked with its board chair, Christina McDonough. You know what I love is your motto. It's feeding people, not landfills. That's really the way we should be looking at this.
Absolutely. We completely agree.
So tell me, what has the Food Rescue Partnership done since it was first formed almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, in fact?
Yeah, it's been an impressive growth since we first got established in 2013. We have really grown a lot of our members of Food Rescue. So we have about 20 local food establishments in the Quad Cities that are donating their extra food to the nonprofit hunger relief agencies throughout the community. And we're really working hard to spread awareness and that education component of donating your food.
Well, this was a real novel idea. I remember when it was introduced in 2013, it just totally made sense that instead of just throwing food away, perfectly good food, that you would find a use for it. What was the acceptance level and what is it right now?
Yeah, so I really think that the community and especially those Food Rescue Partnership stakeholders, we were all on the same page where it was just one of those aha moments. We realized that at a national level, 40% of food that's produced in the United States does not get consumed and therefore it's wasted. And when you're looking at our local data, in Scott County, approximately 8.9% of our residents in Scott County are food insecure, and in Rock Island County, residents are approximately 10.9% food insecure. So both problems can be solved with the same solution. If you have extra food at the end of your restaurant shift or the grocery store, why not donate that and do good with it in our very own Quad Cities community?
Now, you have seen some restaurants and some food service agencies really buy into the program. Why would others be hesitant?
So one of the biggest concerns that we see when we're approaching different food establishments is they are concerned about liability. So restaurants, grocery stores, anybody that's handling food works really hard to make sure that it remains safe and the integrity is wonderful throughout the entire process. And a lot of them are going through in-depth training. They have their license through the health departments in their community. And so they have that little uneasiness of donating the food and what's to happen once it's out of their professional handling. And so what the Food Rescue Partnership does is really works on providing education and awareness that, first off, there's a Good Samaritan Food Donation Act. It's national, but both the states of Iowa and Illinois have enacted it. So if you're donating your food as a professional establishment with a license to a nonprofit hunger relief agency, you're not going to get in trouble. There's no civil or criminal liability. And then the next component is a lot of these nonprofit hunger relief agencies, obviously, they want to keep the food safe and healthy for those that are in need. And so they are also going through very similar trainings that Serve Safe handlers are familiar with. So that's really our top priority, getting that education out in the community.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, for the most case, when people are doing food drives or when you think of food pantries, you always hear non-perishable food products, basically, canned goods and things like that. This is almost much different. This is oftentimes prepared food, is it not?
Yes, exactly. And so the Food Rescue Partnership is happy to make connections for whatever type of food a business has. So really an easy way to think about it is, do you have the ingredients to make a lasagna, or do you have a lasagna that's fully prepared and ready to eat? And depending on what you have for your food and also how much of it in our community, it may go to Riverbend Food Bank. They're really looking at getting those large donations that are going to take a semi truck and forklift to move large pallets of food. If you're looking at a food pantry that a lot of us see in churches or even our malls now have them, that's, the items that you typically get off a grocery store shelf. But then there is that sweet spot where the restaurants can donate their prepared food. And a lot of those meal sites like to have the food. So King's Harvest, Cafe on Vine, there's a lot of other nonprofits that'll take that prepared meal and serve it to their community.
And I know that you're most proud because this is the third year that you've gotten federal recognition for what is going on in the Quad Cities, and that really is quite of an honor. So that those people who are thinking, well, this is an odd program, this really shows that it's not an odd program at all.
Yes, so we actually joined the EPA Food Recovery Challenge in 2016, and we had always, throughout the entire process of the Food Rescue Partnership, followed their hierarchy. And one of the biggest things is providing education that if you have 10 or 20 pounds of extra food at the end of every day, you should reduce your inventory and not order that 10 to 20 pounds. That really helps with the source reduction, but you're only going to get it so accurate every day. And so looking at their hierarchy, they provide alternatives. So feeding people is next, animal feed, followed by composting or anaerobic digestion. And then last on their hierarchy is sending food to the landfill. So this is the third time that the Food Rescue Partnership has earned recognition from the EPA, and we are just honored that our local coalition is being recognized at a regional and now a national level. It's a huge accomplishment for all of our volunteers.
What is the next big goal then for the partnership as far as the Quad City community is concerned?
For us, we've really found a lot of good momentum with our members of food rescue programs. So those are the food establishments that are already doing good in the community, like Popcorn Charlie donates food, Happy Joe's on Locust Street donates food, a Village Corner Deli. And what they're doing is setting the example, and so we're recognizing them with certificates and window clings, putting information on our website and Facebook page, and hopefully that's sparking some healthy competition, right? Because then if you find out one restaurant's donating food, you know that you can do it as well.
Our thanks to Food Rescue Partnership Board Chair Christina McDonough. And our discussion continues online and on your mobile device. Just type the search words "this week" on our website or use our mobile app. We've posted more information and important links for today's topic. Plus, you can listen to our entire interview with Christina on our podcast. Just click on This Week at WQAD.com. And still ahead on This Week, the Figge Museum will hold a special movie screening today that may have you looking at climate change in a whole new way. And later, worries at the ballot box. This year could bring new confrontations at polling stations nationwide, as conservatives and liberals both say they're worried about voter access and intimidation. Should voters in Iowa be worried? It's coming up later on News 8 This Week.